Hello, everyone. We sorry for the delay in return. We just discovered some interesting things about the crafting mechanics in Pathfinder Second Edition, and particularly the way things work in this, shall we say, module, on Foundry. Foundry? Yes, Foundry. So that was an interesting experience. So thank you for being patient. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you. Just before we get into the action again once more, I just want to remind everybody, if you could please go ahead and every time, god damn it, go ahead and follow all of the wonderful people who are part of this shenaniganry. We would really, really, really appreciate that. If you could drop a follow on each and every one of those channels listed there, and then also if you want to find the archive of previous sessions, you can do so at the link there. Yeah, every I was just about to say, Effie has provided a link of a meme that was provided to us by Daxifer, which I actually kind of like the fact that the face caps are so like low res. It makes it kind of better. But if you click on the link that Effie provided there in chat, and I'll do it again for everybody if you want. Dax gave us a fun little meme in the channel there that gave me a good chuckle. So if you guys want to check that out, you're more than welcome to.
I am considering it fan art, and I will love it forever.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And then another reminder: we have the Goblin Bullshit Pool. Obviously, you guys, the last Sunday cranked that bitch like crazy, and it was very kind of you to do so to help Effie recover from the hack that she suffered. So we're very grateful for that. However, I have provided an incentive that if we keep the Goblin Bullshit Pool in triple digits for the next, let's see, including this session, the next 3 sessions. So this being the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th, I will spend an entire day with a boot on my head pretending to be Swedish in Effie's company. So you can watch me torture her that way.
We're gonna go play. God damn it! All right, what is your Swedish version of watermelon and pineapple? I need to know because that worked
Oh,
really well last time.
Violet, thank you very much for adding those
Oh
$10.
goddamn!
Yes, brings our pool up to
Thank
96.
you, Violet.
We really appreciate that, Violet. Thank you. And the Spice Goblins are good, Raffi. And Effie, do you want to give your follow for Immortal Asar?
I do. Immortal Asar, thank you so much for the follow. Come in the box, very good, comfy, good, cozy. We got hot chocolate, we might have just blankets, and now we got you. How the hell are you? I stumbled a little bit, but you know what? That's okay. Sometimes we'll stumble. It's only that we get back up. How the hell are you? Also, thank you guys for all the follows and love. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
All right, easy now, Michael Caine.
Shut up. I already made one Batman joke. I'm gonna make a second Batman joke. What are you gonna do about it? You gonna come after me? Huh? Huh?
Why do
Fight
we
you?
fall, Master Bruce?
So we can learn to get back up again.
Yeah, tangerine. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and get back in the action. But just a reminder, yes, that was understandable. I'll try to remember that. Yeah, there you go, Immortal. But thank you to everybody who's followed tonight and all of your wonderful engagement. We appreciate your support of this project, and all subscriptions, bits, and donations given tonight go towards the Goblin Bullshit Pool and help support our project. So if you guys are feeling generous, we'd really appreciate that. Effie, do you want to give it one more time for the new follow?
Ew. Yep. Atlanta 03, thank you so much for the follow. Come in the box, very good, comfy, good, cozy. We got hot chocolate, marshmallows, the blankets, and now we got you. How the hell are you? Also, this is totally legible and easy to understand. So thank you very much for your understanding, and thank you so much for your follow. Welcome to the box fight. Climb on in. It's gonna be Halloween soon. Fucking deuces. F yeah.
Damn. Should be working at one of those fucking rodeo auctions. And hey, there we go. The auto thing did it for me. There is September goals right now for Effie's channel. So if you guys feel like contributing, if you guys do give certain amounts of gift subs this month, Effie is doing a September push. So if you want to help support that, your contributions in subscription gifts or your own subscriptions will go towards unlocking those goals. So if you click on that link provided in chat there, then you can totally check it out and see what kind of goofy goals we're going to unlock. And we really appreciate your support, and every little bit helps. So with all that shit said and done, Goblins, are you guys ready to resume the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Well, in that case, let me just go ahead and continue to play the ambience of the Sandpoint area. And then we can go ahead and get back in it. Boop. All right, players. We now resume from our break. After spending a fair amount of time in the Sandpoint Cathedral, taking an effort to essentially recuperate from your encounter at the jail, Desi, now that you've been given the ability to, and I'm regretting it even more here, what the fuck? I'm gonna ask on that roll in a second here, but before I do, Desi, because you don't need to sleep for the time being, I realize I've created a horrible monster, because while Snooty and Newt were sleeping, you basically enchanted all of their equipment with a +1 with your crafting abilities, and rolled very well every time, yes?
Yes, I got bored. The next time I'm going to disassemble the gas alarm, trip trap, snip snap, and learn how to make claymores, but that seemed a little bit more involved. So I will just stick to the rather humble and simple process of creating magical runes, engraving them into my fellow gobos stuff, making cantrip cards, and a mage hand. You know, simple stuff.
All right. So after recovering from your encounter, Snooty and Newt, and taking time to sleep and coming about, it's probably about, like, I'd say it's roughly about 1 p.m. In the day. The afternoon has now begun, and you guys you have the whole afternoon and evening open to you to do whatever the fuck you want in Sandpoint. But as you do awaken, I'll yada yada the encounter a little bit. Your ghoul is returned to you by Father Daddy Ass Blaster, and he's also very, like, has a what the fuck moment with you, Desi, as he realizes, like, from the point he saw you to the point he finally came back and checked in with you guys, you had created a small arsenal of crafting stuff in about a 6-hour period.
And probably made a bit of a mess.
Yeah, probably. There's a good chance of that. But otherwise, he's happy to let you take the ghoul, who is now very much so very grateful to finally be out of his little imprisonment situation. And I would say that if you guys want to, we can expedite things a little bit and say that you get the necessary equipment to put him into a permanent state of spooky doghood, in addition to having his equipment attached to him, so that for the time being, not only will he not be as bothered by the rays of the sun, but you'll have covered his more unappealing elements, because without the stuff that you put on him, I will show you guys what that would look like without the coverage. So let me just go ahead and grab that real quick for you. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, when you aren't putting the covers on, he looks a bit like that. Maybe I should flip it. Let me put that over a little bit here. Let's do the other side. It's kind of in an awkward position right there.
Undead doggo.
Boop. All right, that didn't flip it. Anyways, now
He's trying to eat my head.
There are 2 undead wolves inside you.
He's trying to eat my head.
That's silly. Why would? Oh no, Newt, look out! Nom 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 nom.
No, don't eat.
Oh, it's coming for you, Snooty. Nom 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 nom. I believe you have a button for this. There we go.
I was trying to get to it, but I couldn't get it in time. You went really quiet and it got awkward.
It's okay. It's okay. And then Desi.
No, firebomb.
Okay, there we go. That's
You need a top hat for that, because that doggo's gonna be wearing that hat. That disguise hat. You think that hat of disguise is for me? That's for the doggo.
So, fast forwarding time a little bit, you guys still have a decent amount of afternoon and evening to do whatever you wish, and now you are the proud owners of a disguised dog ghoul that very
Looks
much
like a
so
pretty bow. by the way.
Wait, what?
Because it has to. The hat of disguise, when in use, it takes a minute to activate, and it can be used once a day to just keep that up until it's dispelled. But while setting up the disguise, you can magically alter the hat to appear as a comb, ribbon, helm, or other piece of headwear. So I think to make the puppy look real pretty and then have a big bow that Snooty can decide colors on would be great.
All right, Snooty, what kind of color and style of bow do you want on Ghoulie?
See, knowing Snooty, it has to be the gaudiest thing ever. So, like, extremely bright and colorful. The best it can.
With glitter.
It's like one of those like very obnoxious Christmas present ribbons. You know, the ones where it's like partially like lace and then with glitter. Yeah, it's one of those.
I'm such a whore for those. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Presents. Listen, when I go Christmas, it's Christmas. Okay. Sorry.
All right. Well, yes. So with this flamboyant bow, there's two things you realize, Snooty. One, you were told by the sheriff that you need to keep your dog on a leash at all times. So do you try to facilitate that as best you can?
Yes. Not understanding what that means, though, most likely. She's just going to tie like a rope around where the ribbon is to make it look pretty.
All right, and the other thing you realize is that should you choose to do so, this wolf will make a fairly good mount for you.
So you're saying it's big enough for me to ride it like a horse?
Yes, but without the implication of a horse being nearby so you don't panic.
Wonderful.
So if you want to, you can ride your... And are you going to call this dog a ghoulie in public, or do you have another name you'd like to give it so that people aren't like, why is your wolf named Ghoulie?
Okay, first of all,
who asked you, random Sidian?
Oh, fine. All right, never mind. You should fucking never mind. You know what? Fuck it. Sure. All right. We'll come to that situation when it comes to pass.
I was gonna say, do you know what people call their dogs?
Yeah. Anyways, so yes, should you need to... Essentially what this equates to is, Snooty, should you require a mount when Desi and Newt both turn into goblin dogs themselves to keep pace, this will do in a pinch to just ride Ghoulie.
Wonderful.
Yes.
You are now the doggo wrangler.
So, yes, collectively the three of you have found a way to traverse great distances at greater speeds without needing to hire carts and horses, essentially, as well, because you could just be a pack of traveling dogs, so I love that.
Honestly, I didn't mean that to happen, but that's pretty fucking bomb.
It is pretty fucking bomb, I won't argue. But, to that effect, this is turning out to be... Hey, does anyone out there want to give me a quote for any artwork of Snooty basically being a bomb-ass bitch atop her wolf mount in like a pretty bow and a disguise while flanked by two goblin dogs, and one of them is walking a foot above the ground? Because I need that as like... I need it like a fucking, like a rap artist album cover. Because she wants to be a celebrity, right? So it's like do like a Snooty and like a Lady Gaga-esque fucking eccentric outfit riding her wolf.
If you want, you can put a little bounty ad in my art or the art section of my Discord. There's very talented artists in there.
I'm kind of feeling it. I think that would be really good for both promotional material and just fucking amazing.
All right, I'll write it while you're doing your stuff. Go ahead.
Excellent. Violet, that's a good idea. Like the Sandpoint Nightmare should be doing like a rearing motion in the background, like explosions going off. That would be pretty cool. Or the Sandpoint Devil, sorry. The Sandpoint Devil is a very interesting creature, which we may or may not encounter, but I'm getting aside myself. So, now that you have sorted all of that shit, you guys basically have... The day is open for you. Desi, Snooty, and Newt, talk amongst yourselves about where you would like to take your efforts next, because there's a lot open to you.
So you're just gonna start riding the dog now because she's already tired of walking.
I was gonna say you just gave the goblin that was never wants to walk a mount.
It's true. She doesn't want to walk fucking anywhere. But yeah, no, she's just basically telling Ghoulie to just follow wherever Desi goes and gives Desi the leash.
Okay. Hi, Ghoulie. I understand this is probably a weird scenario, but it definitely beats being gassed with the rest of yous in the underground ghoul crypts. I am sorry about that. And you know what? We're gonna get you some food. How does that sound?
You get what equates to approving growls.
Okay. Good, 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 good. Okay, good, good. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Since we're in the well, no, that ain't gonna fly. They won't give me an arm. Damn. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. I'm going to lead them to, if nobody else has any place they want to go, I would actually like to go to the jewelers.
Interesting. I mean, technically, we can say that you guys can split up and pursue alternate things if you want, but why do you want to go to the jewelers, Desi?
So specifically, I would like to make a purchase.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Let me just look up the jeweler's stuff here. I believe the name of that is... It's not the Curious Goblin. No, I'm getting
No,
way ahead
that
of
would be
myself.
me. You got me. That's me.
Yes, that's fair. Let's see. The table of contents here, according to the map. Let me scroll out there. So the jewelers is one of these things. Anyways, what are you looking to buy exactly? While I go ahead and suss that out a little bit.
What I want to do and buy, is actually I want to go see if I can get Snooty something flashy for when she goes and performs, like a tiara or maybe like a fancy lady choker or something like that, to help as like a I know you can do it present, and then get Newt earrings. So Newt does not forget that Newt is pretty.
Interesting. All right, that would be at Rings and Things then,
Uh, uh,
which
what
I
does
believe, if I am correct in assuming, yes, it is where the jeweler on the map. It says jeweler. That's called Rings and Things. So as you ask
Oh, well,
around, the best
yeah.
place that you're pointed to is actually across the road from Denise's house. So on Cliff Street. So like that area is basically where you would get the best opportunity to purchase jewelry and gemstones of all kinds and say shapes. So uh, is that something that you are looking to travel to?
Yeah, I want to go to the jewelers. Yeah, the rings and things.
All right, all right, all right. Fair enough. So to start that period off then. Newt and Snooty. Snooty, what about you? Where's your intended destination? Do you want to join on the the shopping trip, or do you have another location in mind?
Oh, I already said that that wherever Desi goes, the dog is going because the leash got handed over. So she's on the dog already.
Uh-huh.
All right. And what about you, Newt? Are you going to follow, or do you have other ideas?
It's gonna go to the side of town that the sheriff said that there had been bandit sightings. Look, and start walking around going, Stu,
So she's not coming to the jewelers?
No.
Alright, so you're just wandering around. Which side of town? The east side?
Wherever he said that they had bandits doing
Well,
stuff.
I mean,
don't
it's kind of
remember.
been around along the King's Road or the
Then
Lost
yeah,
Coast
yeah.
Road in general, so you
Okay.
have two options. You could either go towards the town gate to the north, or you could go to the southern road that leads to the swamps.
Which side's closer to where I last saw Stu?
That would be north.
Then we're gonna go north.
Alright, so you go wandering up to the town gates and start calling out for Stu. And meanwhile, Desi and Snooty, you guys decide to head to the jewelers. Alright. So as you enter what essentially is... Okay, let me change the tone here a little bit. Boop. Okay. So, as you enter into the establishment in front of you, denoted as Rings and Things, you can see that there are two individuals who are currently... They appear to be taking some time to address a pair of young children, and basically telling them, like, you know, you two should be careful about, like, where you're choosing to play, and like giving them some kind of chastising remark. And it looks like a couple that are fairly kind of young, maybe in their early 30s. And as they're standing there having this conversation, it also appears that there are guards on duty in Rings and Things. Like, there is the implication that there's a fair bit of wealth in this place, and so there are two town guards who keep watch over this space. And as you enter it, they seem to be in the middle of a conversation with their children, and as they are conversing with their kids, one of them turns, and the woman who runs the place just kind of clutches her chest and goes, "Oh," and like has a moment of like, "Oh fuck goblins." And in response, the two kids kind of dash behind her, hiding behind her her dress, and the guards are like, they're a little like, what the fuck, but they've probably heard, at least in passing, and seen you around the area enough that nobody has an immediate hostile reaction. And the man standing there with them kind of like takes into account the two of you walking in, looks at Newt floating like a foot above the fucking ground, and then goes, "Hi there. Is there something I can do for you?"
Hi. Sorry to startle you.
Oh, that's quite all right. We were
um,
just in the process of talking to our children, and the kids kind of hide a little bit more behind the shirt. Also, Newt, I imagine I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Excuse me, giant Brindlebird in Sky. I'm
Oh,
not
right, you're
there.
not there. You're not there. Yeah, sorry, I meant Snooty. Shit, Snooty is on top of a wolf. That's what I meant to say. I assume you guys didn't bother to park it outside, yes?
No, I'm still riding that shit.
I mean, if they let us inside, they probably should let doggos inside. I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, you know. But anyways, no, she's kind of like laying on it, like dramatically, like she's been walking forever, and that she had to be on the dog when really she's like barely walked today. And
You know
it's
what?
like, ah.
As you enter into the space, the man kind of like, he turns to his wife, and they kind of exchange words, and she nods and she moves the kids, and she's like, "Come along now. It's time for us to go ahead and sort of late lunch." And they're kind of like being ushered into the back room of the building, and the man who runs the place just kind of steps out, and he looks like a fairly well-dressed fellow. Looks like he's kind of a few years into being a happily married fella, but still knows his way around what is essentially equivalent to a pawnbroker life, because he appears to be kind of decked out in a little bit of extra jewelry and a little bit of a presentation of a noble effect to him. And he says, "Well, hello there. I'm Maver Kesk. I run the store here, Rings and Things. What can I do for you?" And he just stops for a moment and goes, Are you riding a wolf?"
Huh? Oh.
This is my mighty steed, Ghoulie.
Uh-huh.
Why is he called Ghoulie?
What? Why call anything anything?
Why are you called your name?
Ah,
He doesn't really want to like start anything, so he goes, fair enough. That's fine. But again, I'll reiterate, what can a humble jeweler as myself do for a pair of goblins?
so this is my friend Snooty, and Snooty is going to be doing a very important performance, and I wanted to see if you had anything that was flashy and pretty, like the fancy ladies.
He raises an eyebrow, and then he just kind of looks over at his stock, and there's a fair number of things arranged out in display cases, and as he just kind of gestures generally, he says, yeah, sorry, and he points to Snooty and says, and you're Snooty then, yeah?
That's my name, Snooty.
And he notices the loot on your back, and he says, are you some kind of minstrel, or...?
And she sits up a little bit, does a little, kind of like a back crack type thing to kind of show she's serious business, and slides the loot across her lap, and she goes, I am serious.
He takes a moment to analyze this and thinks about it, and then he goes, Interesting. And,
Yeah.
As far as and sorry, he points to you, Desi. What was your name again?
My name is Daisy. I don't necessarily. I am probably not going to be as pretty as anybody else, really. But I'm not a performer. I am a scientist. So, but I also want to get pretty earrings for a friend Newt. The more ugly she thinks she is, the stronger she is. And that's sort of freaking me out. So I want to give her a reminder that she is always pretty so she doesn't crush everybody.
Oh, well, I'm I suppose that's fair. Well, we offer two services here at Rings and Things. We trade in fine jewelry and wares of that such, and we also have a money lending operation. So if he looks a little like thoughtful and says, if there's any sort of jewelry or art that you're looking for, we can facilitate it. But the money lending, I think I might need a little... Please don't take offense to this, but I might need somebody in town to vouch for you if you seek that service.
Yeah, no, that is...
Vachette.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
The jailer.
That's way better than what I thought, yeah.
The jailer who still owes me 50 gold.
Oh, here you go. And Snooty just goes into her bag and pulls out her bag of gold and then hands it over to Desi and goes, Desi, I can't count.
Oh, yeah, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's one set of 10. And this is 2 sets of 10, 3 set, 4 set, 5 set. That would be 50 gold.
The man looks very confused for a moment. Not only because he just saw a goblin in front of him doing, like, math, but he also essentially kind of interprets it as, like... He's just very confused. He leans forward and says, sorry, just real quick aside. Are you offering to cover the debt of Vachette?
Yeah. He is our brother now.
Yeah.
Why?
What?
Because he is our brother.
We thought we just explained that.
And you have kids?
Yeah, I worry about the sanctity of their upbringing.
He takes a moment to just kind of like process the amusement of your statement and goes, you know what? It's not my place to judge. I'm just really happy to have the money. And that's very generous of you. I'm not entirely sure why you would consider him a brother exactly, though. Like, can you give me a little bit more explanation of that? Thank you.
We are we able to talk it? We weren't able to talk it with Penis Head Balor, but maybe we could talk about it here.
Yeah, maybe.
He very briefly looks a little bit like, what? And then he goes, you mean Sheriff Baylor?
Yep,
Yeah.
Penis Head Balor.
He looks like he's thinking about it for a moment, and he just kind of stifles a laugh and goes, you know, now that you mention it. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I suppose that if you're willing to... He looks a little, like, thoughtful and says, you know, if I'm being entirely honest, that little gesture of generosity there, should you require the money-lending services of Rings and Things, you are more than welcome to return and provide a little bit of, shall we say, collateral, and in exchange we could facilitate any number of gold lendings that you require, up to perhaps about, I would say 500 gold.
Oh, okay.
And he nods. Oh, go ahead.
I go say anyways why we did. We help him find his children. We gave him the money to get his sons.
You
Yeah.
gave him money to buy his sons out of slavery.
Yeah, it is really sad.
He looks surprised and just has like a moment of like, he definitely has changed his mind about the two of you, very much so on this front. And before he continues speaking, Newt, what are you currently engaged in at the moment on the other side of, or the northern part of town? Like, how are you approaching your search for Stu?
No.
Fine. Survival, looking for Stu's tracks.
This is the episode where Newt bumblefucks into finding traces of the Bunyip Club. I
Newt is okay. Newt, you got this, Newt. You can do this on your own. And by on your own, I mean summon animal. And Newt's gonna summon. On how many can I summon? Level 1. Okay, so she's gonna summon like however many birds. So I guess I'll need a d20 from chat to see how many or how powerful the spell is.
Sure.
And she's gonna summon birds to help her find Stu.
Wow, a 15. That's pretty good. Alright. So with a 15 from chat, your wild magic element of influence that comes from your skills, basically, you summon a good flock of maybe, I would say, a dozen small birds that are... Well, what kind of bird do you prefer here, or is it really, like, my choice?
It's a kestrel.
Sorry, you want to summon birds of prey?
Yeah, what better way to find Stu?
Okay, that's...
It's a fun way of saying you're gonna help us find Stu.
Yeah.
Fuck me, alright, fine, fuck it.
We're gonna name the bird Dylan and everything. It's fine.
You're gonna summon a small flock of kestrel falcons, which immediately are gonna be confused about all of them being in such close proximity and then span
Veggie
out.
dogs, pudor, caca.
God damn it. It's true, they do. Fuck it. I allowed this to happen. In fact, they even have a silvery hue to their feathers as you send them out amongst the wilderness to help you in your search. And as you're sending out your forward scouts, do you stay near the edge of town calling out for Stu, or do you do something else while you're waiting for them to return?
Unless my 20 in survival helps me find any signs. Newt's is wandering around, looking for anything, and occasionally going, Stu!
All right. So
occasionally maybe crying a little bit because no one else seems to be concerned about Stu but her.
So you're wandering around the northern wall, which is normally staffed by a small complement of guard and militia. And you send out your birds. So essentially, to anybody watching, the equivalency is like you just yeet a handful of fucking birds out of nowhere into the sky and then continue wandering around yelling Stew. And I need a perception roll from you, please. I will tell you the results of the survival, but there is a... That's pending at the moment, but I need an immediate observation, or perception from you, please.
Yeah.
That'll be on the left side of your thing under your AC. There you go. Alright. You overhear a conversation from up on the wall that sounds like this. Hey, is that a fucking goblin? Yeah. Did it just shit out a bunch of... Were those falcons? Yeah. Should we maybe let somebody know about this?
Excuse me, sirs!
They stop their conversation and one leans over the edge and he goes, yes, what can I do for you?
Have you seen Stu? He's a beefy man. Larger.
They look at each other.
Kind of a himbo look.
As they're looking at each other, they're thinking a little bit, and one of them goes, "Oh yeah, no, I know Stu, I know Stu. Yeah. He did a stint of work that the Pixie's kitten, I think, before he got a little bit more work at the lumber mill, I believe. I haven't seen him in a while though." And the other guy's just kind of like, "Yeah. Come to think of it, actually, yeah, I think we do know the Stu." He does a measurement that you would have no idea how to interpret from your current position. He's about yay tall, pretty muscular, kind of a fucking idiot. Really loved his grandmother.
All of that up until the end.
What do you mean?
Where did you last see him?
Oh, well, they look like they're talking and having a conversation. It's been a few days since I talked to Stu. Last time he was arguing over some price in the Sandpoint market, causing somebody to get really frustrated. When the merchant's there, he got in an argument about something being priced a certain way, and it turns out that he was trying to pay more for it and just didn't understand what was going on. I had to politely remind him that he was giving, in fact, the correct total. So, yeah, but I haven't seen him in 4-5 days.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The one guard leans over and he goes, "Yeah, real quick question. What the fuck are you doing exactly?"
I think looking for Stu.
Right, I got that part, but what do you need him for?
'Cause he's missing.
Oh, that might track, actually. So you're saying that Stu is missing. Would you like to file a missing persons report?
Who would I do that with?
Oh, Sheriff Baylor, down at the garrison.
He doesn't care. He can't find anything.
As they're looking at each other, this flock of birds returns over to you, Newt, and flaps down at your feet and begin to speak to you in a language only you really understand. And it turns out that they do indeed have signs of tracks of individuals that have gone off to the northern parts of the road, of the Lost Coast Road. That looks like it might be a collective of individuals, and maybe the signs of somebody being dragged.
Excuse me, sirs. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's that?
Do you have paper or pen?
They just kind of look at each other and go, it's not really something we carry on duty very often, I'm afraid.
Hold on. Gonna pull out her makeshift Desi science book and tear a page out.
But what?
She has her own version of her science book that she mimics whenever you're taking notes. But it's just scribbles because she doesn't know how to read or write.
God.
So she's gonna tear a page out and put her pen and paper to the kestrel and have it bring it up to the person and be like, "Can you write a note for me for my friend to deliver to my other friends?"
Now keep in mind this wall's like 20 feet tall. So, like, you're just standing there at the bottom of the wall holding this piece of paper in the air for them, yes?
No, I'm giving it to the kestrel to fly up to them so they can...
Okay. So the bird just takes it and flat deposits it on the edge. Did you provide a writing utensil, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna need that back. It's my only one.
The guards look at each other, and one of them's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how to read and write. And the other guy goes, alright, well I got it then. My handwriting's not really that good, but... And he just takes it and he goes, okay, what am I writing down exactly?
Can you tell my friends that I am going this way, pointing towards where the drag marks are, and that I think I might have found Stu.
He nods his head and says, okay, what are your friends' names?
Desi and Snooty and Ghoulie.
I see. Are they in the town?
Why does that matter for writing?
Well, I'm just curious because it sounds like they're also goblins.
Yes.
Right. And he leans over and there's kind of like a hushed conversation and you hear like, oh wait, weren't we told about some goblins being allowed in the town? And the other guy's just like, I think so, yeah. Right, okay. Right, anyways, I'm gonna write those names down and then what else am I telling them?
Just that I found Stu tracks this way and to head here.
Right. He looks a little hesitant about the writing of it as he's doing it, and he goes, would it be better if I delivered this to your friends?
Oh. Sure. That's nice of you.
It just seems like some of the context of this message might not be delivered in writing all that well, so if I walk into town and find your friends, then maybe I can help get them a little bit more in line with what you're trying to tell them to do, eh?
That will work.
Okay, perfect. So, where are your friends in town, by the way?
They were looking for pretty shiny things that you wear.
The two of the guards look at each other, and one of the guys just goes, rings and things, and the other one goes, yeah. Right, well, I think I know where they might be then. I'm gonna go take a look and see if I can pass on the message, but, are you gonna be staying here for them to come catch up with you, or should I let them know that you went on further into the woods?
Tell them the direction I went. Which is this way. Points again.
Right. Well, I'll try my best to pass that on.
Can I have my pen back?
he takes the writing utensil and puts it in, like, hesitantly in front of the bird you summoned, and it just boop, takes it in its mouth and flutters back over to you.
Thank you. I'm gonna call you Silver. Pet bird.
Fuck. The guard just kind of, like, nods a bit, and he goes, anything else you need, or should I run this over to your friends at the shop?
No, that's it. Thank you. Continues walking towards the drag marks.
Alright. As that's happening, you hear the distant conversation of the guards as you're getting a little further away, and the one guard goes, I mean, you're not telling me you're running errands for a fucking goblin, are you? Well, I mean, it's just a reason to get off the fucking wall for the day, isn't it? Ah, true. I mean, I can take it if you... No, you missed your chance. Oh, fuck. So, as the guard takes his leave of the wall, with the writing in hand, and you wander off further into the depths of the woods, we return once more to the conversation within Rings and Things. So, returning once more to the interior of Rings and Things, you guys are now trying to... Things have progressed a little bit. There is now the effort of the guy who basically, like, runs this place to be... he's taking out a selection of different jewels and jewelry. There's some really impressive looking things that range from, like, only about a couple of gold to, like, 100 to 200 gold pieces. There's some very... what's the word I'm looking for?
Exotic?
No.
Exquisite?
Yeah, there we go. There's some very exquisitely carved stuff that's made up of different things like silvers, golds, some brasses, a collection of various things. So it's basically like a question of you see a wide variety of different rare stones and jewel pieces. How, like, he's basically like showing you it, and he goes, so, just a question. What is your budget for what you might be looking for exactly?
To be fair, this is my first time purchasing jewelry.
Okay, well, have either
Can
of
you
you
show me an example piece?
have either of you got any additional gold beyond what you just gave me to deal with Vachetti's?
Yes. I have additional gold.
Okay,
However, I would like to see a comparison piece that you have so I can check its cost versus what I would be requesting. I don't want to be rude, and I understand you are trying to help, but I have found several times in town people try to take advantage of us because we are goblins. So I will not be telling you how much money I have until we have agreed upon a price.
Give me a diplomacy roll, please.
Okay. Yeah? You want another? Huh?
Good lord.
Fucking trying to be like, how much money you have so I can knock it down. Yeah, that's right. Wait, I didn't roll twice.
That was me. I just had you
okay.
selected by accident. That's my bad. That wasn't your roll, that was my roll. It just had you selected, so it did the roll for you. That was my bad. Right. So, Desi, you're taking in the stock, and you give this line to the merchant, and he realizes that despite you being a goblin, you are quite sensible about this whole approach, and whatever he was thinking to potentially get you out of the money that you're working with, immediately the tone changes from him being like, maybe I can squeeze a little extra gold out of these idiot goblins, to like, a discerning customer. So his tone and mannerism changes a little bit, and he says, well, judging from the way that you've carried yourself so far, I can tell you're no average goblins. And he gestures to Snooty and says, and you, my dear, are... Well, I would say that you carry yourself with the cadence of a noblewoman, so obviously we're going to need some very fancy affectations to help accentuate that, yes?
I don't know what that means, but I like shiny things.
Yeah.
So was there... Well, we'll play this out. Was there anything in particular you were looking for, or did you just want me to give you some examples, and maybe you could choose from what really works for you?
I wanted to get something that focuses attention to Snooty. So something probably like so goes on the head or around the neck.
Well, tell you what, I'll give you a couple of budget options here, and you can decide what works best for you. So he goes over to, like, all the stuff that he has arranged, and one of the things he brings out, as he says, a very simple yet elegant effort here would be, he takes out these little gold attached earrings with small rubies that are kind of, like, done in like blood drops, almost. And he holds them up and he says, these earrings would be a little more subtle, but they do match the red of your eyes, pointing to you, Snooty, and they pair well with your ears and your choice of current jewelry. So these I could probably let you have for about 20 gold pieces, laying those out. So first he lays out these red ruby kind of like teardrop earrings that look very nice. And next he goes over to another case and he says, in terms of neck attachment, I have this rather impressive looking... he holds up a very fancy looking gold necklace that has like an imbued medallion upon it. And he kind of holds it up and he says, for about, you know what, I would say about 80 gold pieces, you could have this. It's actually something that was left for me by an adventurer who came through here a couple of months ago. I haven't really been able to find the right person for it, but they informed me that this piece, he lays it out, and it's quite nice, and it has a little inscription on the front of it written in some language you don't understand. And it looks to you, Desi, easily enough that, like, it opens, almost like it's kind of like a clasp. And he says, now, I heard something interesting about this piece. Not only is it a very fancy-looking gold necklace, but if you speak the inscription on the front of it, it activates some sort of, well... If I'm going to be entirely honest, I didn't bother getting it fully appraised on its magical capabilities. I know that it has some sort of enchantment on it, but I haven't been able to identify the language, unfortunately, and haven't really had the time to do so. But it is an enchanted item that not only looks beautiful and draws the attention, very fine gold, and the craftsmanship is nice, but I believe it has some sort of, when spoken for the key phrase on them around the front of this, it would activate whatever it is capable of doing. And unfortunately, I'm not sure what that is, but I'm only really charging from the perspective of the cost of the materials and the worth of its item. So you can roll the dice on that if you want, or keep it to yourself. It's not really a bother, but it seems like a good option because he just gestures to like your overall face, Snooty, and says something with this kind of gravitas would definitely bring together those sharp features of your face and your chin. And the third option, which I suppose I can offer to you, although I doubt you have the coin for it, I apologize for the assumption, and that is wrong of me to assume what budget you're working within, but most people cannot afford what I have to offer. He walks over to basically like a back room area, and he goes, I'll be back in a moment. And as he goes into the back room, do either of you want to do anything or say anything, or do you just want to wait for him to return?
I'm gonna look at Snooty and be like, what do you think? Do you think either of these is going to help you?
I don't know, but
She, like, wiggles around the fairy earring that has, like, the multi-connector. Goes,
I don't want to take this one off, so it must be one of the bone ones.
And she kind of wiggles her ears a little bit with where the bone parts are.
Oh, okay.
So whichever one will fit there.
Okay, we can do that. I was thinking, do you remember the fancy lady that was wearing like the little crown that went on the head?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
maybe that because that would be easy and there's nothing else there. So I was thinking that, but the earrings I think I should get for Newt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
get you.
Want crown.
And
Yeah.
she makes a crown with her hands over her head. And she's like,
Want that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that is good. Yeah, we'll wait for him to come back. I will tell him that we want a crown and we will take earrings and then, we'll see what happens from there. Oh, also, while you were sleeping, I fixed your weapons.
What mean?
she holds
Uh,
her lute very tightly.
Made better.
Made better?
Uh-huh.
How?
More smashy, magically enforced. Uh-huh.
Oh, then if hit somebody with battle loot. Oh,
And she just gets like really wide-eyed and super excited now. She's getting jewelry to be extra pretty, and her stuff is more smashy smash. Aw, yeah, let's go. She's like bouncing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get you to be the fanciest gobble bard in the land. The other fancy ladies don't have super smashy battle loot that goes kabong and then also makes beautiful music.
yeah.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Fair enough. I am trying to remember something here that was written down. There we go. Alright. So, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right so I don't butcher Pathfinder's lore. Alright, so he comes out from the back room carrying a locked box, and he puts in a small key that he produces from inside the vest that he's wearing, unlocks the box, and is about to open it, and he leans forward and he says, "Tell me, are you two familiar with the ancient empire of Thassalon?"
Give me a moment to think. That
No.
sounds vaguely familiar.
Desi, it's
Uh-huh.
in passing, you've heard of it. The ancient Thessalonian Empire is something that existed in what was known as the Age of Legend. It was a very powerful, incredibly all you know about it from what you would know, considering you're not a Thessalonian scholar, is that there was some mention from passing experiences you know of it, of the existence of what were known as rune lords, very powerful magic users who ruled over the ancient empire of Thassalon. But you don't know much beyond that, other than the fact that you just know that it was an old, very impressive kind of empire that ruled more years ago than you can fathom. And people occasionally find relics or interesting things from the Thessalonian Empire in old ruins and shit like that. So your experience with it would probably be from the perspective of people you encountered who were looking to sell Thessalonian relics.
Okay. Yeah, I vaguely understand what that is. It is dealing with relics and such that is an ancient society. Most of my studies have not been on them, but I have heard about it in passing.
He looks surprised again and says, "I'm incredibly surprised that a goblin would know anything about Thassalon." And he looks over at Snooty and says, "What about you, my dear? Any knowledge of the set of the ancient Thessalonians?"
No, Snooty wasn't allowed to learn things like that
She like does the little finger pressy things together, looking a little embarrassed. And she's like,
Goblins aren't supposed to read and write, but Snooty gonna learn.
I'm going to teach ya.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's not really my business, but that is quite fascinating. What I would really like to know, though, is if you're familiar with the Thessalonian Empire, then no doubt you might recognize this. He opens the container that is holding an object in front of him. As he lifts the lid open, you can see what appears to be one of the most grandiose, golden inlaid, like multifaceted, gem encrusted kind of like tiara headpiece that I think you probably ever laid eyes on in your life. And he holds it open just a little bit and says, "Now this is a very important ancient Thessalonian relic, rumored to have been in possession of a rune lord themselves. Very powerful magic users from a time many, many years ago. It was sold to me by a passing adventurer who had recovered it from a ruin of some sort. I wasn't entirely sure of the location of it, I'm afraid, that so many people come through here with Thessalonian findings, and I often have to turn to, what the hell is his name? Brodert for his input on what seems valid or not. But he confirmed without a doubt, our very own Thessalonian scholar here in town, that the item you see before you is genuine. And not only is it genuine, but they say that in the right hands with the right intent, this device here can be used to control the influence of one's mind on others. Not only that, but it is a very impressive headpiece, don't you agree? And he like shines it towards you, and it's like one of the prettiest fucking things you guys have ever seen.
Shiny.
It is like staring at the sun, but without the pain.
I need to share I need to share what Ash posted in the group chat as in reaction to my revealing of this item. And he nods his head and says, "It's a very important artifact, and honestly, I don't even know what I should be pricing it at. I've been told it's priceless, and Brodit has attempted on multiple occasions to see what I would do to part with it. But I think I could let it go for 1,000 gold pieces."
That. Okay. Okay. Listen, I hear what you're putting down. I don't have that much money.
He nods a little solemn and he says, "I understand. I assumed as much, but I figured it was worth showing you anyways."
But just because I don't have the money doesn't mean that I would not be willing to see if you were open to negotiation. You see, I have some rare knowledge in my own artifact that I could share with you. Nothing as grandiose, but as you are dealing with gems, jewelry, and other things, I also have a certain thing to offer you that may be useful.
Oh?
Yes. You see, many people would like to be fancy ladies or fancy men. But unfortunately, nature has chosen for us outcomes that sometimes they do not agree with, which is why sometimes people seek out baubles and other things and make downs or ups. I forget which one. But what I can offer you today is an item that will allow somebody to completely transform their daily routine and image with one accessory. That you could sell.
I'm going to have a roll for this, but first he's going to ask, interesting. Now you're telling me that I could append what... Now, please, are you telling me that you have the ability to enchant this onto an item, or is this an item you already possess that can do this?
This is an item that I can manufacture.
I see. I see. Now, what you're proposing and offering, is this a service that could be rendered onto... He just holds up like a random ring. Say if I had this ring and I gave it to you, would you be able to append this effect to it, or is it more restrictive than that?
I don't think I can put it on any item without at least some sort of breakthrough on the construction and application of the enchanted item. But I suppose with some practice I could. What I'm actually offering you is headwear. Fashionable headwear.
Interesting. So you're telling me that you have a capacity to offer items that are enchanted, that allow one to change one's appearance.
Yes.
He looks a little thoughtful. Now go ahead and give me... diplomacy. Give me a diplomacy roll.
Goblin bullshit, go!
Well, good news. You get some more thread.
Thread! As thread pops into my hands out of nowhere, I'm just going to stare at it because this is now the third time that this has happened, and just package it because it has lost its shock value after 2 times. Now I am just like, I did good. The jaws in the sky bestow upon me spool of thread. Excellent.
He looks like he's about to talk, and then the spool of thread just pop out of nothing into your hands in front of him. And he looks over at Snooty and goes, "Can she do that at any time?"
Desi is a enigma.
I see. Looking at Desi, he goes,
Very smart.
"Can you summon random... What was that, a spool of thread?"
Yes, it was a spool of thread. I don't know why, but I have been being given this thread. It is actually some of the thread that I use in making the items that I would be willing to share with you.
I will roll for his. 1d20 plus 5. Alright. He seems like... He takes it as a... He goes like, "Well, I have to say, that is an interesting element that you can offer, but it doesn't really mesh with my business, I'm afraid. Now, if you were able to return to me with the ability to enchant my jewelry, to increase the value of it on a service basis, and if you were a resident of this town, then we would be able to work something out together, that I have no doubt. But as of what you're offering me right now, I'm afraid you would be better suited probably offering that service to the theater."
We are trying to become citizens of town.
Oh?
We are trying to get enough signatures and people saying that they want us here, and we want to make friends and partnerships with people so we have jobs.
He looks a little wistful on that and says, "Goblins living in Sandpoint. That is a novel concept. You two strike me as very different from your usual kin. I remember when I was a lad and came face to face with a goblin. They were very different from the way you present yourselves. My mother had to stop them from stealing me away in the night, and he kind of like looks a little forlornly at his leg, and he says, I kind of may have suffered a lasting injury as a result of that exchange. So I apologize if my initial reaction to your presence in my store was less than welcoming. But you two seem very different from that kind of goblin."
Yeah, I am sorry about that. I know that I am not the one who has caused it, but I also, just in general, as a goblin being to a human being, I understand the empathy of pain, and I am sorry.
Well,
But
I appreciate it, and I'm happy to facilitate. He looks at the gems, and he looks at the necklace, and so like the earrings and the necklace, and he thinks of it, and he says, "Well, to be honest, I couldn't compromise on this." Like closing the lid on the headpiece, and he says, "If you're able to facilitate a better opportunity to purchase it from me, then I am happy to give you that option." But gesturing to the necklace and the earrings, he goes, "To be fair, I don't think that these are going to move anytime soon." And pointing specifically to the necklace, he says, "This one's a little bit of a, well, it's a risk. I'm not going to lie, and I want it moved. So, tell you what, you seem reasonable sorts, and I think that these would be more useful to you than me. So I'll let you have both the earrings and this necklace for 50 gold. What do you say?"
That is perfect. I think we have a deal there. So I will give you the money momentarily. But I still would like some headpiece made from, precious shiny things to give to my friend here. So. I just asked Desi. I would like head. Yes, I know.
Sorry, I was looking at the group chat.
Okay, I was like,
No. That's okay. That's okay. Sorry, I got.
yes.
Yeah, hold on. I'll just share that with everybody in chat. If you would like to take a look at that, that was posted. An earlier image was posted. Jasmine saying snooty when she saw Ghoulie, and then Ash did that. But also, I was laughing because as soon as I saw that, I also saw that Critical mentioned that the big bad of this series is immigration laws. I couldn't help but have a bit of a chuckle there. But, sorry, Desi, continue. You're still looking for a headpiece is what you're telling him, yes? Do you want to elaborate on that further?
So I have to think. My brain. I suffered a bit of an injury recently. I think time is sort of hard and fuzzy now, but I don't remember what it's called. It goes on the head. I think it has pointy thing. Maybe it went under the feet. No, not head. Went on head, sort of like other thing, but wasn't. Yeah.
As you're
I don't
trying, hold on,
remember.
I can save you from this. As you're trying to explain what this headpiece is that you're looking for, the door dings with its little bell, and in walks another town guard. And the guard looks around for a moment, and he sighs with like relief, and he goes, "Hey, are you?" He looks at the little written note. Doozy, Snoodsons, and what was this other one written here? My writing is trash.
Goofers.
I Snooty, that Desi and this Ghoulie.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I have a missive here from your friend. Wait, did he ever ask your name, Newt?
Nope.
He pauses for a minute. You had a little floating goblin friend. He like gestures generally.
Newt.
That yay high. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Yes. Sure, Newt. Anyways, they had a message for you that they found. Damn it. The friend, Stu said you were all looking for Stu.
Yeah, we were looking for Stu.
Right. Well, your friend Newt there told me to tell you that they found traces of somebody potentially having Stu, I guess. And to be honest, look, I was really looking for an excuse to just get off guard duty for a little bit, so I'm gonna keep wandering around town pretending I'm looking for you. But long and short of it is, to the north gate, your little friend there disappeared into the forest looking for your friend Stu.
all by
Okay.
themselves? Oh, that's not good. We should hurry, Desi.
Oh, well, they had a little flock of birds with them.
All
but,
by themselves? That's no good. We should go.
That sounds good. Yeah, that's no good. The buzzards are already following her. They know that her brain is smooth like mirror.
Oh no. Smooth Brian.
Oh God, smooth Brian, she will forget to breathe like that one time.
And that one time she thought she ugly.
Oh yeah, better bring these quick.
You better
Sir,
hurry.
Snooty, what is the thing called? You know we want a gown. Wait, no, that's not right. Snooty, help! I'm having brain trauma.
I don't know what we need. I just followed you here.
Oh yeah, I come back. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did I say?
What?
I don't know. You said 6 as I was almost on 10.
No, I said fuck sakes. Now take my
Oh,
eyebrows
it
and
just
continue.
came out as 6.
Just fucking put your
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm kidding. Here is 50 gold. Thank you. We will take this. I will be back to put in a special order. Bye.
All right. So you take the earrings and the necklace for the 50 gold. So do you want to reduce that from your total?
Yeah, well, wait, do I have the option to just not? Is that magic? Can I do this?
What do you mean? No, you fucking. I'm telling you. Do you do it on your sheet or do I do it for you? That's your choices.
You just post it as a question
You
instead of
little
like
shit.
a declarative. I thought maybe I had
As
options.
Desi
I was
leaves
like,
the
oh,
rings and things, a bird shits on her head.
No, the put door open for my insulin. Now I remember. It went on the head. It was a crown, a tiara. Ah, thank you, bird. Just yelled. I'm so. My roommate's gonna wake up and be like, "What the fuck are you yelling about, bird?" Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. Fuck. So, Snooty and Desi, you both, I assume, are going to follow the guard out to the northern gate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything you want to do, Desi, or, sorry, Snooty, before you're, like, leaving this area, or are you just gonna follow along to pursue Newt?
Following along to pursue Newt.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm going to put my recently acquired items in my bag, and then I'm gonna put my fang shears in my mouth. And I'm still gonna put basically I'm going to lead the ghoulie doggo through the streets, and we will run free into the woods.
So, at what point do you do this? When you get to the gates, or just as you're heading in that direction?
Oh, waiting for the gate. I do not want to freak anybody out. Sheriff Baylor would be an angry penis head.
Alright.
And if there's one thing I do not need tonight is to see an angry penis head.
So he leads the two of you to the gate, and is like the whole time he's walking along, he's like, "Oh right," so that, and he stops for a minute as he's still walking with you guys, but he points and he goes, "Are you riding a wolf?"
Yeah.
What's its name?
Ghoulie.
Oh, that's. Wait, can it talk?
Pap Schoolie. See if he can talk.
In this form, all he can do is growl, but he can respond in a way that it means
He understands.
The guard looks a little impressed and goes, "Wow, did you teach that, Wolf?"
Yes.
Absolutely full on lying. I'm not even gonna roll. Like, it is very obvious that she's lying about it.
He's also kind of an idiot, so he's just gonna take a moment to think about it and think about your tone and go, well, I mean, you got it trained in some fashion, because otherwise, I think it probably wouldn't be letting you ride it, yeah?
Yes.
She's like not understanding how to explain herself. Also, a lot of things. Anyways, so she's like,
And as he's continuing with his annoying questions, he goes, but, so, what's the deal with the, like, you got a lot of fancy equipment here. Like, this thing's pretty covered up. It's got, like, is this...
He doesn't like the sun. He's allergic to it. So we put him under all this stuff.
A wolf allergic to the sun?
Yeah, 'cause he liked the moon. You know, you hear wolves.
She had to stop herself from saying dogs because otherwise she would scream.
and they howl at the moon.
Yeah.
That's 'cause they're allergic to the sun.
Interesting. I'm not an expert on wolves, and, that sounds a little odd, but you're riding a wolf and I'm not, so I think it's pretty clear to see who the expert is here.
She just kind of nods, arms crossed, like.
As this conversation goes on, you get to the edge of the gate, and he points out into the forest from the open gate to the north, and he goes, right, your friend headed in that way, just kind of generally gesturing to, like, the northeast. And suppose you'll have some way of locating her, but, good luck on that. Is there anything else I can do for the two of you? Otherwise, I'm going to go pretend I'm still looking for you in town.
Don't you have a place you have to go back to?
Oh, yeah. Look at that one, maybe. I mean, look, I'm
Well,
being kind of
don't
honest.
actually ask around for us, because then that would mean that we disappeared, and that could be bad for us getting our citizenship. So,
Here, and she hands him 2 gold pieces.
just get yourself a drink.
He smiles, and he takes the 2 gold pieces immediately, and just like a gesture of excitement, and he goes, "Oh no, hey, you know what? Actually, now that you've given me this, I was waiting till I got paid, but you know what? Seeing as I have an hour to knock around, I'll go with my favorite girl down at the Pixie's Kitten. I think maybe an hour is a good enough time to kill some time elsewise. So, thank you. I'll make sure to keep..." He taps the side of his nose and he says, "I'll make sure to keep what you're doing secret, if you make sure not to mention to anybody what I'm doing, huh?"
Yeah, we make sure.
And she's just nodding, like not really understanding everything, but she's just like,
Desi,
kind of indicating like, Desi, let's fucking go, please. I can't handle all these questions.
Desi, do you say or weigh in anything on this exchange, or do you immediately turn into a goblin dog and fuck off into the woods?
I'm gonna turn into a goblin doggo and fuck off. I'm letting Snooty handle this. I'm tired of talking to people. There is no time for words. There is only time for dog.
Alright. So you fucking animorphs your ass out into the into the distance, and immediately, like, the guard is too enamored with the conversation with you, so Desi turns into a goblin dog behind him and fucks off into the woods. And he turns just to see the, like, tail end of her leaving and goes... And he turns around to look for Desi and he goes, "Here, is that a fucking dog?" And Snooty, you can see that Desi has turned into the dog and is fucking off into the woods. Do you stop to do anything about it, or you just spur Julie on?
Okay, mister, you go to the place with the brownies. We gotta go.
And then she kicks her heels into the sides of Ghoulie to make him go like a horse.
On my mighty steed.
Ghoulie.
I ho
also-
Ghoulie away.
Please tell me it rears back and goes ow, and then just rushes into the wind.
Well, I wasn't going to until you said that, but now, yes, 100%. However, due to the nature of Ghoulie, it's more like a "Ow," and then comes down and goes off into the woods. And
Beautiful.
The guard just kind of goes, "That's the weirdest fucking wolf I've ever heard," and turns around to go back into the town. Meanwhile, I can go ahead and change the ambience a little bit here. Let me go to... is this one gonna work best? Let's see. Yeah, sure. This'll work for the time being. Newt, you are following the bet tracks as best you can, as you were told by your little scouts there, who are now helping you find your way through the wilderness, and are following the trail pretty decently. As you follow it a ways, eventually it seems to terminate in an area that looks like some effort has been made to cover any footsteps or like marks. So it leads into like an open clearing that then leads off to a couple of different spaces. So it looks like you have a couple of different choices before you. One is, it looks like there's an old sign that's been grown over that you probably can't read, but it like that goes to one way. We determined you can't read, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, there's a grown-over sign that if you could read would probably say something important, but you don't know what the fuck it says. There's also a pathway that looks a lot narrower that leads off to sort of a, let me go ahead and write this down as well, so I'm making sure that I'm giving you the right outlines. So I won't tell you out loud what I'm writing, so I'll keep my mouth shut, but... yeah, so there's 3 paths. One looks like it leads to somewhere marked with a sign, another one is kind of like a narrow, upwards traveling pathway through more of the rocky mountainside in the area, that kind of leads upwards into like a hilly space. And then there's a third path that looks like it leads more into like a very thicker part of the woods where maybe you get the sense there might be a lumber camp. You're not entirely sure, though, because all it sounds like is the distant hacking of trees.
Okay. Newt will walk up to the sign and start looking at it and go, cat, and then turn to the falcon. I mean, the kestrel, and be like, "Can you read this?"
Fucking no.
Yeah.
Newty, can you read this?
Dire dude read. You know what? Fuck it, chat. Give me an exclamation mark D20. Let's find out if Nudie has the capacity for any kind of like reading or interpretation of anything. So somebody just exclamation mark D20 for me. Cool. Sequentially, also no.
Well, I guess we just... Hon. Survival to try to look for any sort of sign of tracks or anything out of
Alright.
place.
The sign that is you can't read looks like it has similar signs of somebody dragging something along that would be sitting like, despite their best efforts to hide tracks, because you have the added bonus of having an aerial view of the space, you can still keep an eye on like where the progression goes. And out of these 3 paths, the one that follows towards the sign is basically what appears to be the best bet, because it follows a similar pattern.
Okay, hon.
It also appears to follow like an old road that has been grown over but is kind of cobbly, and so you get the impression that it might lead to something possibly man-made, but otherwise that looks like your best bet for following the traces that you can pick up, despite efforts to cover their tracks.
Nee is going to take a stick and just make a big arrow pointing in the dirt, pointing the direction that I'm going. And then she's gonna look at it, look very proud, and be like basically nod her head to herself, and then turn to the falcon and be like, nod to it, and then start walking towards the way of the sign.
All right. As that's happening, we'll do this in stages. So as you go forwards to the direction that takes you in where the sign has been denoted, and you can't read what it says, we're gonna go ahead and rewind or fast forward time a little bit to come to this same spot. Desi and Snooty moving very quickly as a goblin dog / wolf combo. You managed to kind of head in the direction. But Newt, were you leaving any example of where you might have been headed before this point?
No, just follow the path.
All right,
to
Desi
here.
and Snooty, I need either perception or survival rolls from you, whichever you guys would prefer to use.
Yes. 1 second. I have to. Okay, there we go. Okay. Crafting. Wait, no, that's not it. Proficiency. Duh.
Oh, I mean, I guess technically Ghoulie could also do this.
Technically, right now I am trained in survival because I'm a gobble, and I have a smeller.
Okay, go ahead and give me your smeller roll.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna make a temporary thing. We're just gonna go status, I guess. There. There we go. Goblin Bushy, go!
Outstanding. All right, go ahead and give me that reroll, please. Oh, much better, much better.
Oh no! I'm their height now.
Yep, you're the same height as Snooty, basically.
No! I was 4'2". Now I have 3'2".
I'll roll for Ghoulie as well. All right, not terrible. Collectively, you guys managed to sniff your way along into following the trace of Newt, because Newt wasn't exactly trying to hide her progress, and it was easy enough for you guys to come upon the same traces that she seemed to be following. So following that same path and the traces left by Newt, you managed to come upon this area that more or less, like, Desi, you're kind of like leading the pack here of everybody. And Snooty, one thing you take note of is that as you guys are moving along, for some reason, Desi just got a little smaller. Like, the dog got a little smaller. And you can tell me if you want to react to that or not, or if you're just kind of like, neat.
She looks at it for a moment, squints, thinks really hard with her smooth Brian. She goes, shrugs, and just follows.
All right. So there is a interesting. So eventually you guys make your way to the same space where you can see the 3 pathways marked, and I don't even know if it's worth having a perception roll here, honestly, because you know what? For narrative purposes, everybody just give me a perception roll, please.
Okay, a deception.
No, not deception.
Oh. A perception. Oh.
Goblin bullshit, go! I'm using it.
Yeah, okay.
As my gobble doggo, I
There you go.
would like to roll as fuck, what? Oh, you actually have a perception, doggo.
You already rolled perception.
Oh, did I?
Didn't you? Oh, shit. Wait, Newt, did you roll a perception check?
Hadn't did.
Okay, except for Newt, because Newt's not
You
here.
said everybody roll
Shut
perception.
All right.
That you
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Desi, go ahead and give me your perception roll, please.
Okay. My perception is going to be, yeah, there we go. There.
All right. Are you good with that? All right. You get a little distracted by the sound of lumber being hacked apart, essentially, in the distance, and also are kind of like, oh, that path looks like it leads up to a windy, interesting place. And for the briefest moment, Snooty, you can hear up at the windy, like, mountaintop kind of, like, pathway that leads a little bit further upwards into the mountains. You can hear the distant screeching of some kind of creature. It sounds like kind of like a, but you're not entirely sure because as you're riding into the area atop your wolf, something else is drawn to your attention. Ghoulie makes a pawing motion at the ground and is just kind of like sniffing and making like a low like noise. And as you look down, you just see like a big fucking arrow scratched into the ground, pointing towards what appears to be a pathway that leads onwards into a like an incline area with kind of leads into the dip of a valley a bit, and there's also a sign there that's been grown over and has something tacked to it.
She squints. She says, What is it, boy? Up. Oh. Desi!
Points to the ground with the arrow, and then follows it with her arm up.
That way.
Bark, bark, doggo, gobble, doggo, bark, bark.
Do either of you stop to regard the sign at all, or do you just continue onwards?
She points at the sign that Snooty still can't read.
I'm gonna read the sign.
You are a dog.
Yeah, can you speak common while you're in the goblin dog form, or do you...
No. I have something in my mouth, too. Like, listen, I'm talented, but I ain't that talented.
Alright,
Wait, well,
so...
hold on. Maybe I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can understand, but I'm pretty talented.
I mean, if your mic wasn't cutting you out, yeah, we would actually be able to hear that for sure.
Damn.
Um,
Anyway, yeah, I can probably mumble, but I don't think that the Gobbo Doggo has the capacity to speak common, so.
okay. How do I want to handle this? So, what you do realize is that the sign in front of you appears to have been originally one sign that says something along the lines of, holy fuck, what is the name of this place? Let me just scroll down real quick. Doodly-doo. I have, like, outlying places to go to. Alright, fuck it. I'll just rename it for the time being. It's called, Wisher's Mine. So it seems to be something related to, like, a mine of some kind. And it's a pretty old sign. So Wisher's Mine is what it says, but there's been something tacked over it that has been added. And what you can make out of the text is that it says, warning, abandoned mine, and then it says something that's a little hard to make out underneath that is a little scratched away and worn with age. So, do you want to try to kind of see if you can understand it a little bit better, or do anything to maybe clean it up, or any? What comes to mind for you to try to like read what the text says, or are you just going to be like, can't read it, don't care?
Honestly, I feel like if I stood and tried to clean the sign, that at this point it's metagaming. Desi doesn't care. She was told to go this way. They're trying to find her friend. So, I'm going down the path.
All right, so Do you try to relay what you like see about the sign to Snooty? Or are you just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna follow this path?
I'm following wherever Desi goes because she's just like,
I carry sign. The dog can smell where to go. I don't gotta do like nothing. This is great.
All right, that's fair. All right, all right. That's entirely fair. So as you're moving along, kind of making your way through the area, the two of you are just gonna keep going, following the trail of Newt, essentially.
I'm just gonna try to follow me.
All right, fair enough. So as you continue along, ignoring the text underneath the sign there, we return once more to Newt. So Newt, eventually following this path, you come to what appears to be some kind of boarded up mine. Actually, I don't know if Newt would know what the fuck a mine is, really, but it's a boarded up entryway of some kind to an underground space. And the path that you've been following looks like there's been a loosened element that has basically been, jostled free from the covering of it. But it looks like somebody went to great lengths to put a lot of boarding and, like, blockage over the entryway of this space. But there appears to be like somebody's effort to dislodge part of that and use it as an easy way in. So, do you wish to continue to follow the track, or do you have another course of action in mind?
Follow track.
Okay. So you'll just use the entryway as best you can to enter this space?
Yeah, I'm gonna draw another arrow though.
Okay. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes?
Also, I'm gonna go. Also, he's gonna go. All right, Silver, stay here, and let my friends know I went in here. Sit Silver down.
Alright. You leave behind a kestrel, and you make your way into the entryway of the mine. And begin to... Do you want to try to be quiet about that, or are you just kind of like, in I go, and then continuing onwards?
Han, you know what? Have chat roll a d20.
Chat.
There's two ways there's 2 ways I can see her doing this.
Yep, that's fair, that's fair. Chat, could I get an exclamation mark D20 from you? Alright, that's a 4. What would you like to do with that
Okay,
4,
well,
Newt?
I don't even need to roll an intelligence check then. Still!
Good. Good. There is also another sign on the front entryway of the mine, but you likewise can't read it. So as you go into the mine, yelling out "Stew" as your voice echoes down the corridors, eventually we come to any other things in mind, Newt, or shall I go to the other two?
He's just gonna keep going further in the mine, yelling for Stu. Yeah, so you can go to the other two.
Alright, so considering the rate of progression that you guys manage as mounted creatures, air quotes, versus Newt's just kind of like following a path, drifting along sort of approach, it's not too long before you reach the point when she enters, but you don't hear the calls of Newt, but you do see, Snooty and Desi, you do see two things. One, there is a very clear sign that is still kind of legible over the entryway to this place. And there's also a bird that is sitting next to a large drawn kind of arrow. And as you guys get closer, the bird just starts flapping its wings and making like little squawking noises.
I'm going to spit out my shears and go back to Gobbo.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pick up the shears and put them away. And then I'm going to look at the burb and think for a minute. Wait. What happened? Why is everything bigger? Huh? Snooty, when did you get tall?
Snooty just stands next to them now, like gets off the dog. Same height. puts hand on your head, hand on her head, hand on your head, hand on her head. Does it 3 more times.
Why same height?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you got taller.
Desi, you also taking a closer look at Snooty now in the light and realize that a lot of the light is passing through her and she's kind of transparent.
Never mind. Figured it out. It is just more bullshit from town, I guess.
Oh, the curse again.
Yeah, the curse. You're kind of see-through at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, it is sort of weird. But anyway, I'm sure it will sort itself out. It will not come back to bite us in the butt. Anyway, I think that is one of Newt's friends, because that bird would be like out of here otherwise.
Do either of you know how
Honestly-
to speak to animals?
No.
Alright, so the bird is doing its best to just flap around and peck at the arrow, and then kind of like towards the entry of the mine.
I think she went into the mine.
Okay.
Unless it's saying we turn around and go back because Newt's not here. Yeah,
No?
we could just turn around and go back. No, this kid, that'd be so mean.
That would be very mean. I also have a present for her. Listen,
That's true.
yeah, listen, I am not excited either, but sometimes we have to do things for friends. And Desi's gonna walk into the mine.
You don't want to pay any attention to the sign on the front?
Oh, what does the sign say?
It's a lot more clearly illegible, even though the weather has worn it, and it seems to be hastily scrawled as if somebody has carved it into a piece of wood and very much so tried to cement it there, but it appears handwritten, but very carved with haste almost. And the text on the front says, "Do not enter, cursed mine, dead inside."
Oh. Snooty?
Desi?
Sign said, "Do not enter, cursed mine, dead inside."
Oh.
But we're already cursed, so we can write that off.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
no,
dead
we're
people
fine.
inside.
It should counterbalance.
Yeah, that's just what I am thinking. Do you care if there's dead people inside? That doesn't.
I mean, we used to eat a lot of dead peoples, remember?
Yeah, everything seems fine to me.
Oh, you should be fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I go in.
I follow suit. I am pulling, like when your dog doesn't want to go with you, but you have to bring them home, type thing. That's how she's pulling Ghoulie right now.
Ghoulie isn't bothered by it. He prefers, places like this, so he's actually probably like, oh, thank God, a dark hole. And it's totally, eager to be like, I'm going in. His initial reaction is probably, oh, excuse me, sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. His
Bless
initial
you,
reaction
Ghoulie.
is probably like, why are you pulling me now? But after seeing that he gets to go into a nice dark hole, he's probably like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, bring me in there.
Typical meal.
Everybody gets 2 XP.
Let's go! 2 XP for dirty joke time.
Hell yeah.
I was
Nice.
trying so hard not to make the joke either.
Yep.
I'm like, every so often
Yep.
I was just like, you should rephrase that. I was like about to say it, so thank you.
All right, let me see how well this works right now. There we go. All right, this is a good time to bring up the Imagination Goes Here screen. Okay, so Newt, as you enter further into the depths of this place, you can see that there's a lot of winding, different pathways, but the trail that you're following is still quite apparent. And it's kind of clearly denoted as going through one path that you're able to follow, and otherwise it's very dark in here. So my question to you is, do you just rely on your kind of natural goblin night vision, or is there an extra level of like light that you would like to use in case maybe, you know, something else becomes an issue?
No, just
I think-
normal vision.
I was asking Newt, sorry.
Just normal vision.
All right.
Yeah.
So Newt, as you continue to progress into the depths of this place using your normal kind of like low light vision, it serves you to a decent degree, but if you had a torch or some kind of system of illumination, you might be able to see things that might be problematic a little further along. But you're at least not completely blind in this space and don't stumble around stubbing your toes off of stuff or having any issues like that. As you continue to follow the path, you're, I assume, continuing to yell out, "Stu!" Yes?
Yeah. Yes. Stu!
Alright, moving further into the dark depths as you continue to follow. You can hear... Well, you know what? Give me a perception roll. Let me get a perception roll from you, Newt. Alright, not bad, not bad. As you're following along, it looks like this path that you're following is leading a little bit deeper into a side space that, well, for lack of a better word, leads across a rather narrow bridge. It looks to be in poor repair, and something about it seems a little recently maintained. It looks like it's been shored up to some degree, but it's a very narrow kind of crossing rope bridge that looks like at one point it was made long ago, has had recent efforts to it, but also looks like something about it doesn't strike you as entirely safe to approach. It's hard to really determine what, because you're not an expert in what I think it would be necessary to identify the specifics, but it gives you a bad vibe. But the path looks like it terminates at this crossing of this, like, narrow bridge. And outside of that, the only thing that you can hear as you're calling out Stu is occasionally you hear something in the distance of one of the other tunnels that sounds a little bit like a scratching, moving of multiple legs. So how do you want to
didn't
approach
have
this space?
multiple legs.
No, he did not.
Oh. I don't have torch.
Have you been leaving any traces of your path as well along this way?
Have there been multiple paths I could have taken?
Yes. If without a air quotes breadcrumb trail, it would have been difficult for somebody to completely find you.
I will leave. Is it dirt floor?
Yep. Yeah, most of the flooring
Yeah.
is just
Then
like
she'll just
excavated
she'll
dirt.
keep making arrows the whole way.
Okay. Sounds good.
She will approach the bridge and try to investigate.
Alright, investigate in what way?
Try to see why she's getting a bad vibe.
Alright. As you are taking a look at it, it seems like there is something rigged to it. Almost like somebody has made a mechanism that is related to... I don't know how well Newt would really know how to identify what would essentially qualify as a trap, but it looks like on a closer inspection, there is elements of something set up to the point of the bridge that lead under the bridge, connected to something. And you're not really sure without taking a closer look, and I would say that unless you can argue a reason why, Newt isn't familiar with a lot of, like, the way that this is all set up.
No, Newt would only know basic traps for, like, hunting and stuff, I would assume. I don't know what type of trap this is, but unless it's like similar to what you would use in like a tribal type traps, then yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have that similarity. It's a little bit more complex.
I'm out of ideas. I should wait for Desi. Desi would know what to do. Desi!
All right, fair enough. So as you, Snooty and Desi, begin to enter into the mine, how are you two entering into this space? Are you trying to be quiet, / using any other light sources, or are you both just walking in being like, no?
I mean, if I can
Newt!
see.
Nudie!
Hmm. This is really strange. Can I make an observation roll?
Well,
perception,
that's
I mean?
perception, yes. Observation is my system,
Yeah.
but yes, perception roll, go ahead.
Sorry.
You, want to keep that?
Gobble and bullshit go.
Alright, go ahead, give me a reroll.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Oh.
All right. Go. You can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Achoo! This. I am looking for the arrows.
You do see hints of arrows. Yes, it's fairly easy even without any like a major illumination. Newt has dug them very deep into the dirt, and they look very freshly made. So, the path you're finding is pretty easy, not just because of the arrows, because you can also hear the sound of Newt. Can you go ahead and just do what you were doing for me a minute ago?
Desi! Snooty!
Yeah, you hear that coming down the pathway.
Oh, okay. Snooty, I hear her. Let's go.
Okay. Newt! Newty!
Snooty!
Newt!
It's going to go rush off in the direction we'll, pulling the leash.
So, Desi, are you joining in on the calls, or are you letting them be your Marco Polo team?
Letting them do the Marco Polo. As I learned last episode in Aether, when somebody says Marco, not everybody needs to go.
All right. Is there any rolls anyone else wants to make for me before I reunite the three of you?
Why did you say it in such a sussy manner?
I just want to know if anybody has anything that they want to consider while they are in a dangerous mine.
Uh-huh. Where were you, 2 seconds ago? I was doing my task, but you wandered off and got sussy.
Yeah, I'm just leaving it open. Snooty or Desi, any rolls of any kind that come to mind, or
No.
do you guys continue?
No. I am,
Continue
set to
on.
go. Uh-huh.
All right.
Desi!
Newt!
Snooty!
Newty!
So, as you guys are doing this and calling out, you come up to the area and you can hear each other. Desi and Snooty, both of you give me perception rolls, please, real quick.
Oh, I got to do that again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bonk. This is sort of familiar. It sort of is like what I did just a minute ago.
Am I hearing any
Nah, I'm
any
good to-
reroll
I'm
calls
good-
or you're good? You're
Nah.
good?
Listen. Snooty's a pillar. a rock. Nothing escapes her eyes. I trust her.
You both move forward, and as you're moving forwards, you can hear the very clear, obvious sound of Newt going, "Snooty, Desi," or you know what? Fuck it. Give me another round, everybody. Newt, Snooty.
Snooty, Desi.
Newt! Newty!
Perfect. Thank you. As you're moving along,
Stew!
Stu.
you guys can hear Newt very closer, and as you're getting a little closer, you can hear that. You're closing the distance quite well. Desi, you hear something, or sorry, Snooty. My bad, not Desi. Snooty, as this calling out is going on, you're hearing Newt calling to you, and then you also hear another call that comes down another way as you're getting closer to this space. And the call sounds kind of like... Well, it's really strange. The best way I can interpret it is you hear the calling of, Daisy! And then you also hear, Snooty!
Wait, what the heck?
And it sounds kind of distant down the halls, but every time you guys call to each other down the further way, it sounds a little louder and a little clearer. Stu. Note.
Desi,
Do I hear
I
it
think
too?
there's somebody else here.
Yeah, this is what I am also thinking. Wait, okay, this is easy.
I
Look
got
at the
an
arrows.
idea. We
Oh,
follow
yeah?
we follow arrows. We
Uh-huh.
get Newt, and then we
Uh-huh.
keep calling
Uh-huh.
to see if it follows.
Oh, that is a good plan. See, you are
But we
very
call
smart.
it thingy. Then we know, cause then it knows our names already, and we don't know it. Maybe it will tell us its name.
Oh, true. Okay.
I got even better idea. Once we find Newt, we ask it its name.
Oh, yeah. That is good. That's a good one. Yeah, let's do that.
It's still very obvious for you to discern where Newt's voice is coming from versus wherever these answers are coming from. But every time you do call out to each other to continue to find Newt, it sounds like these other voices that are mimicking what you're saying in a very raspy way are also coming closer. But eventually, as you round a corner, you can see Newt standing, calling out to you. Next to what appears to be sort of like a ruined rope bridge over a fairly deep-looking chasm that has like a bit of a light, watery sound at the bottom of it. And as you come around the corner, Snooty and Desi, how do you want to react to finally seeing Newt again?
Newt!
Nutty.
You're right there.
We do group hug. We
Group
all
hug.
like group hug, like
Yeah.
cuddle pile. Whoosh,
Yep, cuddle pile.
jumps on top everything.
I got you present. Why'd you go in here?
Cause there were drag marks, and I think Stu was dragged in here.
You think Stu was dragged in here?
I think Stu might have been dragged in here. But I went to this bridge, and I got a funny feeling, and my Brian is not smart enough to figure out what's going on with this bridge. So I was like, I need the smartest person I know. So I started yelling your name, and now you're here.
Yeah, that worked pretty good. You can show me the bridge, but there's a thingy here.
Oh, what thingy? What thingy?
I don't know, but the thingy yelled back and it knows our names.
Okay. So since we know its names, you guys stay here.
She hops off Doggo.
Ghoulie protect, okay?
She walks a little bit forward and she goes,
Hey thingy, what's your name? You know our name. What's your name?
As you yell that out down the hallway, you hear kind of like not the hallway, but like the passageway. You hear the return of a voice that basically just go, "Hey, thingy," and then a kind of broken thing that just says, know our name.
No, we.
Just call you a thingy?
You know our name. What your name?
God damn it. You just hear the echoing of like another broken sentence as the voices are getting closer. You can hear, "What our name, you thingy?
No, you thingy.
You thingy."
No, I Newt. No, I Snooty. That Newt. That Desi.
Ah.
The voice echoes, "That Snooty." And then another one says, "I, Desi."
No, you're not.
See, it has the same name as you.
I don't really think
maybe.
that is a thing.
You know what?
Snooty, let's see, what do I have in my bag real quick? I just want to see something. Let's see. She goes in her bag and pulls out a torch, and it lights it on fire and throws it down the hall.
Alright, give me a... I would like a roll, but I'm thinking about what I should make you do. Oh, hey, Luna! Hi! Thank you for the raid! We're only going for another,
Hello.
like, 10 minutes here tonight, but thank you so much, Luna in Japan, for that little raidy poo. Very much so appreciated. Always happy to see you guys here. If we could get a shout-out command. Go
Hello,
ahead, Effie.
Fantasy. Thank you for the raid.
Yes,
Also,
thank
Luna
you.
in Japan is wonderful, Gobble approved lady, does lots of cool art and fun stuff. Also, please, I Goblin named Bean on Silver Castro Studios channel, Tales of Dorota. Tune in to see what's spinning on the donut.
Don't confuse Silver Studios with my bird Silver, who is also a Kestra.
Yeah, totally different entities.
God damn it. I think the best thing I can do here is... We'll call it an acrobatics roll, even though it's basically just dexterity. So, Snooty, give me an acrobatics to see how well you yeet this torch, please.
Okay, acrobatic. Yeet.
Alright. Not terrible. Do you want to sit on that?
Yeah, I know my luck.
Yeah, you don't want to test the fates.
I don't want another 10, alright? I know my luck. I've been doing good tonight. I'm not fucking jinxing it with this shit.
What the hell was that?
Me knocking on my table to keep my jinx from showing up.
Alright. Fair enough. You can see what appears to be, as you throw it down the pathway where the voices are coming from, it looks like there's a figure standing there. It looks like they're a person, a human, maybe about 5 some odd feet tall, and as the torch lands at their feet, well, not at their feet, but a ways down the thing, they seem to be standing still. And as the torch lands, some of them kind of move back a little bit. They shuffle a little more into the darkness. Do you want to say anything? But it looks like the person that you saw looked like a human, like a normal human person, like about the same height and profile from what little you caught. Although they were rather shrouded in darkness. Is there anything else you want to do about that? They seem to not be moving at the moment.
It looks like it. Peoples? Hey, Peoples!
Is
What
it
you
Stu?
doing? Do you know where Stu is?
As you call out loudly again down the hall, there is a shuffling that you can hear quite audibly. And a very emaciated-looking man who looks like his chest has been excavated steps forward, out into the light. And the back of his head appears to be caved in a little bit, and there's something running down the back of his head to his spine that looks almost like a fungal kind of growth. And as he strides forwards, the figure's mouth opens, and without anything kind of moving to elucidate the movement of a mouth, it steps into the light and just says, Hey, peoples. And a couple of others step forwards into the light. Similar appearing figures, all humans who appear to have their chest cavities torn open or caved in, and the backs of their heads appear to be overgrown with some kind of fungal growth connecting to their spine, and their heads look kind of flat, and they all look sallow and malnourished. And as far as you're aware, their eyes are just completely glossed over and whitened, and more of them move forwards, saying variants of peoples and hi. And as they shuffle further into the light, they get closer and closer. And with that,
Stu uses her powerful voice and does this.
With that, I think that is a perfect moment to end tonight's adventure. So,
Oh, you're gonna leave it on that cliffhanger?
I am gonna leave it on that.
I say that about every fucking goblin games we play. I'm just like, we're gonna end there. We can't just go forever.
Right?
Damn.
All right. Well, I know what I have ahead of me for next session, but for the time being, congratulations, players. You guys managed to successfully navigate a further interrogation at the hands of the town authorities without completely putting yourselves in a position of being more, I suppose, how would I describe it? So far, no extra kind of restrictions have been placed on you. And then, finding yourselves a fair bit of jewelry and whatnot and doing some crafting and some resting, a good start to the day. Now, finding yourselves deep within what apparently has been marked as the Wisher's Mine, you have a different problem to face. But we will come to that next Sunday. So, just a heads up to everybody. Next Sunday, the 18th, is when we will be doing our next session. And that is more or less going to be how things are going to pan out here. I have some ideas for next session that may be fun. Who knows, but it really depends on how certain things line up. But either way, you guys will see what is to come from this encounter. But for the time being, thank you all so much for being here. We love and appreciate you all. And if you could give some love to everybody involved in this project, I would really appreciate it. We have myself, Silver Kestrel Studios, we have Jasminian Devils, we have the Art of Ash, and Effie the Cat, of course, because you are here and aware of that. And also, I would really appreciate it if you get some follows to MWBDZ, who does a lot of really awesome token work for me and a lot of amazing art contributions. He actually made the animated Imagination Goes Here screen you see behind me. The original concept was drafted out by the Art of Ash, and he took it and kind of rendered it into an animation form. There's more to come on that front, too. We're going to turn it into a better loop with a few more things that you guys can keep an eye on for when it's up. So I look forward to seeing the kind of shenanigans he has in store for that. But I would very much so appreciate it if you could follow and love everybody involved in this project. And also there is a URL there in that same link that provides you with the archives to watch all the previous episodes, and a URL to a master document that lists everybody who has been involved in the project past as well. So I would appreciate it if you took a look at that document and followed the people who have contributed to make this project what it is today, because we very much so appreciate their hard work, and I would really appreciate that. But before we go ahead and find somebody to raid, Effie, could you go ahead and find me somebody to raid tonight, and then we'll do our little check-ins and raid on out.
Yeah, I can do that. One moment. I'm stuck in Desi voice. I'm sorry.
That's perfectly
I'm just
fine.
like being Jenico. Yeah, I can definitely do that. 1 second.
All right. But again, thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and check in with my goblins, and then we're going to go ahead and raid on out. And those of you who are chilling here, unfortunately, we did not meet the goal I had put forward of keeping the goblin bullshit pool in triple digits, so I will not be putting a boot on my head and pretending to be Swedish for an entire day to annoy the shit out of Effie. It would seem, unless somebody wants to bring us up by 7 points, which I totally understand if you wouldn't want to. But I set a lofty goal to see if you guys could keep it in the triple digits for the pool for this session, and I understand if that might have been a bit much, because they do love to use their goblin bullshit points. They so very much so do. But if you guys are interested in contributing to Effie's subathon, which is basically the September shenanigans she's getting up to, there is... Let me go... There we go. So, September. That's basically all the it's $70 donation. No! Don't ride the struggle bus,
No.
War Bandit.
No struggle bus.
No struggle busing. That is against the law. There's no struggle busing allowed. But if you guys want to help support Effie where you can afford to do so, I would like to reiterate, please feel free to take a look at that document there to see Effie's September goals and what kind of things you can unlock depending on contributions made and progress on the overall sub counter, which we should probably figure out a way to display that sub counter during the future sessions as well, just so people can keep track of that. So I'll
Yeah,
chat
I got
with
that
you,
link
Effie.
for you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but War Bandit shush, you crazy bastard. Anyways, but before we end our session and raid on out, let me just do the quick check-ins, and then we'll be good to go. Jasmine, did you enjoy once again wielding the power of Newt?
Yes, I love Newt's chaos and gullibility.
I do too. I appreciate the element of craziness that is interjected into her just kind of like following the path as it's laid before her, and her undying devotion to Stu truly
No one
inspires
cares.
me.
No one cares about him. He's just gone, and everyone's just moving on.
You know, I can't help but make a subplot built around your grit and determination. So thank you, Newt. I appreciate that. But again, a reminder, everybody: Jasminian Devils is the lovely lady who plays Newt, and I would appreciate it if you guys followed her stream and checked out her content because she's a really awesome lady. Next up, we have the ever effervescent and demure Snooty. Ash, did you enjoy once more whipping the Snooty out?
Can we get 2 XP for that? Because that hurt.
I'm
Just
sorry,
whipping that
I didn't.
Snooty out. Just
I didn't see my eyebrows get put on.
Yeah, you should have put them on me. But yes, I enjoy Snooty. I enjoy this game very much. I always get very excited. I'm glad that I was able to hold up for the whole session. Very, very glad. I love this game so much.
Hell yeah. It is one of my favorite campaigns I've ever run, and you are some of the best players I have ever had the privilege of working with in my life, so I very much so appreciate it. And I love this group to death, and I can't wait to get other people involved in the mix, because there's a lot of awesome, wonderful, talented role players I've come to know from doing all this D&D shenaniganry, but truly, Ash, I have a great deal of respect for you and the hard work that you've put in and all the crazy shit that we've been doing, and the hard work you put forth as an artist to render all the stuff we see here. So thank you. I am eternally grateful to you, and I hope that your body stops
Aw.
assaulting you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, last but not least, we have the tricky little shit herself, Effie the cat. How did you enjoy once more pulling your Desi card out on repeat every time I try to pull the dumb goblins interaction, and you're just like, actually...
Hashtag not all goblins, bitch. What are you gonna do about it? Huh?
I'm
huh?
gonna accept that and embrace cultural diversity.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can't apply the law of large numbers to an individual. That not only is mathematically incorrect, but it's very unfair. How dare you? But anyway, honestly, I love this session. This is very exciting. But now I'm looking forward to the next level when I get to add some more formulas and stuff, and I get to kind of, expand out a little bit more, because we have such an interesting, intricate little group that is just so creative and so amazing, and I like to be the bullshit enabler.
I think you all do your fair share of bullshit enabling. It's a team effort, a very solid team effort.
And you know, you yourself are an amazing part of it, but I'm usually trying to like subtly thwart you. So you're not quite on the team, but you know what I mean. I appreciate what you're doing. Gotta be a goblin. You're a bird. Anyway, it's just, I don't know, just like the interaction with the jeweler and everything. You make everything really entertaining and fun because you give basically like, you're just like, here's a playground, and I'm just like, wait, can I do all the things? That it's like going and testing like a fucking physics-based game. You just try everything and you just have a ball, and that's kind of how I feel every time. Like the jewelry store, you did fantastic on the improv and doing that, and then I can't even begin to understand what's going on in the cave other than it's fear, and just the dialogue and interactions and everything else. It's highlight of my week. Like I love Sunday and Monday. So I had a fantastic time.
In this campaign instance, I do have to give credit to Paizo. Paizo is the one who publishes and creates the world of Galarion and fills a lot of... Hold on, I'm just going to say this. Everybody gets 2 XP. They fill a lot of the holes I need filling to make it an easier experience.
Someone clip that. Please. That needs to be your sound.
Fuck.
Thanks,
Anyways.
Pazio, for filling those holes so Silver can fill all of them.
But Paizo, they created I'm basically using the skeletal works of what is an adventure module by the name of Sandpoint Light of the Lost Coast. And it includes information and characters and locations related to the town, and is an amalgamation of several adventure paths that have been made over the years. Rise of the Rune Lords, Jade Emperor, I believe it is, or the Jade Path, a couple of others as well. But Sandpoint is one of the darling cities of the creators of Pathfinder, who I believe this town is actually based off of the hometown of the writer who originally penned it as well. But it has become one of the best starting towns in any tabletop RPG setting because it is so rich with history and detail that I am just helping bring to life the words that they've written down and the things that they've outlined. So I can't give enough thanks to Paizo for making my life a lot easier by basically being like, here's roughly 100 people with bits of backstory and reasons why they live in certain places, and here's a population of 1,000 some odd people, so you can add whoever else you want to the mix, and then also here's a rough outline of the lands around the town if you want to include any weird encounters or strange shit. So I'm a big fan of it. It's fucking awesome. I highly recommend that you guys give some love to Paizo and Pathfinder for the awesome stuff they do. They haven't really adapted a lot of this setting and stuff fully for 2.0 yet, so I've kind of been just doing it myself. So I'm hoping at the end of a certain point in this campaign I can just be like, hi, I did this. Do you guys like it? And we'll see if they like what I did and maybe talk with me about it, or they'll be like, here's a nice fresh cease and desist. And I'll be like, understandable, have a nice day. But, I doubt it, because they're really good at working with people who contribute to this community, unlike Wizards of the Coast. But, with that all said and done, that's our talky talk for the end of the night, and we need to wrap up our little session here. So, Effie, do you have anything else you need to say, or shall we just kick the raid off?
No. Tomorrow is going to be, Aether on a lot of our channels, so make sure to check that out. And what I mean, everybody, I pretty much beat everybody here. Everybody here does VR. So we play in Aether. So if that's interesting, you want to see a little bit of a live roleplay, that would be tomorrow. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
And weren't you saying that you wanted to, I believe it was on the 20th, you want to run a workshop for people to introduce them to the setting and do VR roleplay stuff so that people can have a chance to get involved?
Correct. I wanted people that were like, I'm shy, I need to workshop a character, I just need a little bit of like, I'm scared to go into like a large group of people with this. Can y'all help me? And then I can be like, yeah, here, we can kind of figure some stuff out. So if you are like, hey, I want to get into Aether VR or anything like that, go into the Discord, go to roles, get yourself an Aether role, and chat it up. Basically, you have to have a headset. I thought that was implied, but I understand people with very little knowledge of it are probably like, do I actually need one? Because I thought VR chat on desktop would allow me to move my arms. It doesn't. You just kind of walk around in a default pose, so that's why they don't allow it, because you look like a mannequin. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So.
So to that end, then, are we gonna lock that in as like Tuesday, the 20th at what, say 7 p.m. Mountain Time?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, then you heard it here, folks. If anybody is looking to get into doing the VR roleplay stuff and wants some help, as complete newbies who might be a little terrified of just jumping into the space itself, we'll be running a little workshop on Tuesday, the September the 20th at 7 o'clock. Oh, go ahead.
If you need any help with that, you just let me know. I have nothing planned for that Tuesday.
Hell
I
yeah.
would love to help with that workshop.
Well,
That would be great. Yeah, we'd love to just run down the basics of how you guys can approach all things related to Aether, and I'm going to ask Sheenie and Val a couple of questions for pointers on how to run that. And if they want us to do anything in an official capacity, that's cool, but otherwise it'll be completely non-canon. So just remember, until we say otherwise, anything you do in this setting, even though you're preparing for Aether, is not an official Aether roleplay. So you can take concepts of what you explore during that and apply it to the official roleplay, but under no circumstances are the events that happen during this practice kind of introduction meant to apply to the official roleplay setting unless said otherwise. So just make sure you guys keep that in mind. But yes, the 20th, 7 o'clock p.m., be there in VR or be square. You need to be in VR chat and you need to have a VR headset, and we recommend that you go hunt for models that might work in the setting ahead of time so that you have a character you can start playing around with. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll just provide a training avatar for you to kind of use as a general outline so that you can get an idea of like what to do.
I can make a primer with the worlds and links to them so you can add them. We just need to figure out what they are. Between me and Silver, we've got a few that you guys can go check out on your downtime. And then you can show up and be like, I'd like to use this, and we'll explain kind of what's required and not. So.
Absolutely. That would be fantastic. So, I'll provide that list of recommendations, and eventually it'll show up in the Aether Rolls channel on Effie's Discord. So if you guys aren't part of the Discord already, boop, there you go. Join that link, and then we'll fuck that walrus together. Anyways, poor choice of words. Effie, who are we rating?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna be rating fake cakes.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Let's jump in phase.
Yeah.
Our arty ways.
So, I think we'll go do that. And, yeah, that's about it.
All right, dope. Any last things to say, or are we good?
Yeah. Well, EDF, wait, you're still awake? You're supposed to be in bed. Also, Thank you, Peter. The goblins, were we not adorable to begin with? Have we not? What were we were earlier? Are we still adorable? I don't understand.
All right. Anything at all, Effie, or shall I bid us
No.
say goodnight?
I was just being a shit. We can go.
Goodness gracious! All right. Goblins, say goodnight, and we will switch to the ending scene screen.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Have a good night. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Snooty.
Newt.
Gooey.
Newt.